I was forced into a life I never chose, and this is the story no one asked me to tell. My name is Sarah. I was 20 years old, still young, still frightened of loud nights and dark rooms, and suddenly I was a wife. Not because I chose love, but because someone chose my fate for me. After my mother died, my father remarried. When he passed away 2 years later, everything changed. From that day on, my stepmother treated me like a responsibility she never wanted. I cooked, cleaned, washed clothes, and stayed silent. Silence was my survival. When I turned 20, she told me I was getting married. "You should be grateful," she said. "He's wealthy. You'll be safe." I didn't even know his name until a few days before the wedding. I didn't see his face until the ceremony rehearsal. I felt like a package being handed over. His name was Cameron. He was 31, well known in business circles, quiet, distant. People said he wanted a simple wife, someone who wouldn't ask questions. That's why she gave him me. On our wedding night, my head was still spinning from the lights, the voices, the heavy scent of flowers. When he entered the room, he locked the door behind him and looked at me, not with anger, but with emptiness. "Get some rest," he said flatly. "I'll sleep on the couch." I didn't understand then, but I would later. He kept his distance for days. No harsh words, no kindness either. He ate quietly, worked late, slept separately. I served him meals and cleaned the house, but I felt invisible, like I existed only to keep things running. One evening, I dropped a glass while washing dishes. It shattered, cutting my finger. Blood pooled on the floor. I tried to hide it, as I always did. But he saw. "What happened?" he asked. It was the first time his voice sounded human. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "I broke it." He didn't scold me. He took my hand, wrapped it carefully, and said, "Sit down. I'll handle it." That night, I cried, not because of pain, but because no one had cared like that in years. The next morning, there was a first aid box on the table. Beside it, a small chocolate bar and a note, "For the girl who stays strong quietly." It wasn't signed. It didn't need to be. Slowly, things changed. One rainy evening, the power went out. I lit candles and made tea. Kareem came home soaked and exhausted. I handed him a towel. "You didn't have to," he said. "I wanted to," I replied. He looked at me for a long moment, then spoke. "My mother was afraid all the time," he said quietly. "My father hurt her. I grew up thinking kindness made people weak." I listened. For the first time, so did he. After that, he began eating meals with me. Asking about my day. Buying me books when he found out I loved reading. He always knocked. He never crossed boundaries. He slept on the couch, not out of anger, but respect. One night he asked, "Are you still scared of me?" I thought carefully. "Not like before." He smiled faintly. "That's enough for now." Months passed. I told him everything, about my stepmother, the wedding I didn't want, the years of silence. He listened without interrupting. "You didn't lose your voice," he said gently. "It was taken. And I'll help you take it back." When I fell sick that winter, he stayed by my side all night. When I woke up crying, he held me, not tightly, not possessively, just enough to remind me I wasn't alone. One evening, he sat beside me and said, "I care about you. But I won't ask for anything unless your heart wants it too." That was the moment fear loosened its grip. I took his hand. Not because I had to, but because I chose to. Now I'm 23. We live in a small house with plants by the windows. I write stories, about quiet girls, about healing, about choosing love instead of fear. Cameron still makes me tea every night. And sometimes I still cry. But now, I cry because I survived. Because I healed. Because I was finally seen.